So DC Comics decided to hold a first ever Fandome event since, well, the ongoing coronavirus pandemic has made large gatherings incredibly unsafe, and Comic-Con has been slowly decreasing in popularity over the past several years. They decided, screw it, we're going to do our own thing. So they held a virtual event where they showed a bunch of trailers and artwork and a bunch of cool stuff regarding mostly movies, but other media such as video games and comic books, etc. So I'm just going to briefly discuss my thoughts about most of what was shown there. I'm not going to talk about the video games or the comic books. Since this channel is mostly about movies, I'm mostly going to talk about the movies. So first and foremost is Wonder Woman 1984. I thought the trailer was great. I was already excited for the movie. It was one of my most anticipated movies of this year. But since it's probably not going to come out this year, well, it was nice to get another trailer, and I thought it looked great. From the moment that I saw Diana swinging on lightning bolts, I was in. I was already in, but then I saw that, and I was really in. So I'm completely sold on Wonder Woman 1984. I don't need to see any more of that movie. I'm going to watch it whenever it's safe. I really like the tone that the movie is going for, and I'm really interested to see what Pedro Pascal does as Maxwell Lord, because he's clearly a Donald Trump analog, and several scenes in this trailer take place in Washington, D.C., including a fight scene in the White House. So I'm really curious to see how that's going to play out, in addition to his dynamic with Cheetah, because it's pretty clear that they're working together. So I'm curious to see how that will develop, but I'm glad to see Chris Pine back. I don't care how he's back, I'm just glad that he's back as the comedic relief, making jokes. He and Gal Gadot have such good chemistry together. It was great to see him back. The Golden Eagle armor looks absolutely great on Gal Gadot. It is a very good comic to film transition, because a lot of times the costumes in the comic books, they don't really translate well to film, but this one did. It looks good. I'm ready to see more of it. I thought the CGI on Cheetah looked good, which was a big concern because last year we had cats. Thankfully, that's not the situation here. It doesn't look off-putting or, existentially disturbing the way the CGI in Cats did. It looks fine. It looks good. So I'm curious to see what that relationship is going to look like, because Diana clearly cares about Cheetah, but she's also the villain in this movie. So it'll be interesting to see what the movie does in several aspects, but I will find out when the movie comes out, regardless of when that is. They did not show much for The Flash, and I don't really mind, because I'm not that interested in The Flash, because I really do not care for Ezra Miller's interpretation of the character. I don't like his very grating depiction of Barry Allen. In fact, I don't even think he feels like Barry Allen. It's a little bit more Wally West to me, and even then that's kind of a stretch. I just don't like what he did with the character, not to mention Ezra Miller's off-camera controversies, which were weirdly not even addressed at this event. But the cool thing about The Flash is, hey, Michael Keaton's coming back to play Batman, and they released some concept art of Flash's new costume and Michael Keaton in his old 1989 Batsuit, which was cool, and it didn't quite get the attention that I thought it would. I thought it was going to get a lot more hype, and it didn't. People kind of saw it and they thought, oh, that's cool. and they just kind of let it go. That was a little strange to me. There was no images released of Ben Affleck as Batman, and I'm assuming that's because he just came on so recently, so there wasn't a whole lot of news about The Flash, which is fine, because I'm not really interested in that movie. Now, here is a movie that I do care about. The Suicide Squad, directed by James Gunn. The man that gave us two of the best MCU films, both Guardians of the Galaxy movies. I am very excited for this movie, and after seeing the teaser and behind the scenes footage for this movie, I'm even more excited. I am convinced that the Suicide Squad is the movie that should have been made the first time around. James Gunn knows exactly what he's doing with this property. He knows it's a comic book movie. He is embracing the fact that it's silly, but hey, we can still love these things even if it is an inherently silly concept. The fact that this man is putting King Shark and Weasel in the movie is great. I love that. I don't know how to express it, but I do. I like that James Gunn is willing to go there. He's not taking himself so seriously. He doesn't think that this movie has to be some try-hard, edgelord fantasy. And that makes me very, very happy, because the Suicide Squad looks like a blast. It looks like a lot of fun and a movie that I want to see. It has a hell of a cast, and one thing that I really, really love is that most of the characters are so Z-list that you could kill off 90% of this cast and nobody's gonna care. And perhaps one of the greatest things about the Suicide Squad is that Harley Quinn finally looks like Harley Quinn. She's in red and black. Amazing. Look what happens when you give her to a director that's not a perv. Isn't it amazing? I think Harley and Idris Elba are probably the only people that are going to make it out of this movie alive. That said, I'm really excited to see what James Gunn does with characters like Polka Dot Man, Peacemaker, Weasel, who is voiced and mocapped by his brother Sean Gunn, and obviously King Shark. I'm curious to see who's voicing him. I really hope it's not Taika Waititi, because we know that he has a role in the movie, but I feel like we've seen that done before with him as Korg, and I don't want them to retread that. I'm really glad that Taika's in the movie, but I don't want him to do the same thing that we've seen him do in the MCU. I do think this is a really big cast of characters, and that's somewhat of a concern for me, but I also think that if anybody knows how to balance a cast and make everything feel evenly distributed, it's James Gunn. You know, I wouldn't be surprised if I watched this movie and I walked out and I say to myself, I can't believe that Polka Dot Man made me cry. Because that's just what James Gunn does. I really like the way the movie looks. It's a combination of a 70s war film mixed with comic book fun. And that's what these movies, specifically Suicide Squad movies, need to be. So I'm looking forward to it. It is one of my most anticipated movies, easily, when it comes to DC's upcoming slate. I can't wait for it. I know James Gunn is going to knock it out of the park, and I don't know how true this is, but if Starro the Conqueror is really the villain, hell yes. Hell yes. Because if Starro is the villain, the Suicide Squad is doing what the Justice League was too cowardly to do. I am so ready for that, if it is true. The next trailer that was released during DC Fandome was of the much campaigned for, the much talked about, the mythical, the gift from the gods, the Snyder Cut. Yes, ladies and gentlemen, Disney shills, we finally got a trailer for the Snyder Cut. And you know what? It was the most Zack Snyder thing I have ever seen in my life. And as much as I dislike his movies, I wouldn't have it any other way. The trailer was ridiculous. It almost felt like it was a parody of Snyder's movies because it was so self-indulgent that I honestly couldn't tell if Snyder was being completely serious or if he was actually making fun of himself. It's probably the former because he's not that self-aware, but still, I like to entertain the possibility that maybe he was making fun of himself. So, where do I start? This trailer, it has Leonard Cohen's version of Alleluia play throughout the trailer, which in itself is a choice. Secondly, I was watching this trailer and I thought, I feel like I've seen this movie. Because a lot of it was scenes from Justice League, and the scenes that weren't in Justice League were scenes that we know Snyder shot because they were in the original 2016 Comic-Con trailer. Scenes like The Flash saving Iris West, Victor Stone playing football, and people were losing their minds saying, you know, this looks like a completely different movie. I watched the trailer and I'm thinking to myself, does it though? Because it looks like the same movie, but they took all of the scenes Zack shot and just added them back into the movie to pad out the running time. But this thing is 4 hours long. And then I saw Desaad. And then I saw the Nightmare sequence. I don't know if that's actually going to be a part of the movie or if it's just another terrible dream sequence. And then I saw Euxis, which is the younger version of Darkseid. And then I saw Steppenwolf with his redesign. And I thought, okay, maybe this is a different movie. Maybe there is actually something here. Will I enjoy it? I don't know. But am I going to watch it? Yeah, I am. Because as much as I am not a fan of Man of Steel and Batman vs. Superman, Zack Snyder paints with a very broad stroke. And I would rather watch that than the hodgepodge Justice League that we got. Now, I'm going to try to go into the Snyder Cut with an open mind, but looking at the trailer, it seems very much like what one would expect. It's ugly, desaturated color palette full of blue and gray, Jesus imagery and allegories, particle effects, slow motion, a movie that looks so bloated with a plot that is most likely unnecessarily convoluted. Way too many characters. Way too many characters. The only thing that was missing from this that could have made it more Snyder than it was already Snyder is it was missing the gratuitous nude shot of the male physique that he likes to include in his movies for some reason. So, you know, if that was there, this would have ticked off all the boxes on the Zack Snyder checklist. But I'm going to try and go into this with an open mind because maybe it is a different thing, you know, and I don't know if I will enjoy it. But it's just very strange to see, I guess, for lack of a better way of phrasing this, because there's such ambivalent feelings towards this project, at least for me. We'll see how it turns out, but you know, it looks like there's definitely more stuff involving the Flash and Cyborg and even a little bit for Aquaman. You know, Superman's in the black suit. In fact, I think there's only one shot of him in the classic blue and red suit, and it's actually a flashback to Batman vs. Superman. So, there's that. I think there's a different resurrection scene, because there's a scene in the trailer where he's flying above Metropolis and Lois Lane is kind of looking up at him. And, you know, it has a very Ayn Randian philosophy vibe going on there, which is also very Snyder, by the way. And there are some other moments in the trailer that make me think, yeah, this is probably going to be a different movie. Is it going to be better? I don't know. I really don't know. One thing I do know is that the trailer was, for some reason, in a 4:3 aspect ratio rather than a 16:9. I don't know if that was intentional or if there was an error made during the making of this trailer. But I've read some things around the internet where some people are saying that the movie was shot in a 4:3 aspect ratio. Some people are saying it was shot in 1:6:1. So I really don't know what's going on there. I guess we'll have to wait and see. But yeah, the Snyder Cut got a trailer, and it's about what you would expect. It was very Snyder. It was very self-indulgent. And lastly, I just gotta say, I was not impressed by anything Ben Affleck showed as Batman in that trailer. He still looked flat, boring, one-dimensional. He looked like he was eyeing the exit still. You know, I don't think this is going to change my opinion of his Batman that much, but hey, we'll see. But, you know, speaking of Batman, there was a little bit of Batman news at this event. You know, Matt Reeves is working on a little film called The Batman. And he debuted a teaser trailer, which was more than I thought we were going to get. And that trailer was perfect. It was perfect. It is everything that I have ever wanted from a Batman movie. And I am so unbelievably excited for this movie. I honestly do not think I have ever been this excited for a movie in my entire life. I do not care if it's a superhero movie. I don't care if you think it's cape shit or whatever. Nah. I don't care. Nothing is going to kill my excitement for this movie because it looks amazing. I saw this trailer, and when I was watching this thing, my body went numb from the excitement because I just could not believe what I was seeing. The Riddler voiceover of his voice, distorted and creepy and taunting Batman, was so ominous, and it gave off this tone and aesthetic that's very reminiscent of David Fincher's Seven and Zodiac, given the ciphers and riddles that the Riddler leaves behind. And then we get this amazing POV shot from behind Commissioner Gordon. And all of the officers in the hallway are looking at the camera. And you're like, oh, what's going on here? And then we cut to the next scene. And we see boots and a cape. And another cut. And there we see him, Robert Pattinson, in the Batsuit, and holy shit. I'm lost for words. Nothing I say is going to properly articulate how excited I am to see Robert Pattinson play Batman. I have been saying, since this man was cast, I said it in my Batsuit reveal video. I have said it on Twitter so many times that people have probably blocked me, but Robert Pattinson is going to be the best Bruce Wayne and Batman the big screen has ever seen, and this trailer just confirmed that for me. 100%. Pattinson looks amazing in the Batsuit. He looks scary. His presence is very fear-inducing. I would not want to meet that man in an alley if I was a criminal. Because you know what? If I saw him, I'm probably getting fucked up. The physicality is all there. Completely there. His eyes, perfection. His eyes stand out so much in the Batsuit. And that's really saying something, because they don't do the white eyes like Batman traditionally has in the comics or in Batman the Animated Series. His eyes really pierce through that cowl. And that's a really impressive feature because he has such an intense gaze. And I think it really adds to his on-screen presence as Batman. It makes him that much more intimidating. But holy fuck. Then we got that scene of him just kicking the ever-living shit out of that goon. And it was glorious. So fast, so powerful, so aggressive, so beautiful. I was already sold. I was already sold before the teaser even came out. Then they showed me that. And I'm like, take my left kidney. Take a lobe of my liver. Take my unborn first child. I want to watch this movie tomorrow. Just give it to me. I don't know what else to say. This trailer was perfect. It's just, it's Batman. It's what I have been waiting for years. This is going to be not only the definitive take of Batman on screen, because Robert Pattinson is by far the best actor to ever hold the role, but it's also going to be the best Batman movie ever made. Because I was kind of on the fence before this trailer came out, like, is it going to be better than The Dark Knight as a movie? I don't know. We'll have to see. You know, Pattinson's probably going to be the best Batman, but as a movie, where will it rank in the Batman pantheon? I don't know. After seeing this trailer, I do know it's going to be better. This movie is only 25% done, and they gave us this teaser trailer. This movie's going to be a classic. If the rest of it is even remotely like this 25%. 25% of the movie done, and it looks this good, and it gets the response that it does. Are you kidding me? This movie is going to be phenomenal. It's perfect. Everything about it is perfect. The tone, the aesthetic, Pattinson, oh my god, his bat voice. It's perfect. It's perfect. Everything about him is perfect. Like, his voice isn't corny. He doesn't have some stupid voice modulator that makes him sound like a weird robot. He's not doing the Christian Bale growl thing. He just does like this really emphatic whisper. And it really, really works. Like, I think we're finally going to have a bat voice that is distinguishable, that's not Kevin Conroy. And at long last, we have a Batman that wears his eyeshadow with pride. The eyeshadow is completely necessary. There's so many reasons why you should wear it from a tactical standpoint. Yet in every Batman movie ever made, every time he takes off his cowl, it just magically disappears because they don't want to acknowledge the fact that he wears eyeshadow. No, not Robert Pattinson. He wears it with pride. Give me more emo Bruce Wayne. Hell yes. I like that. Give me more of it. This movie looks so good. It's going to be a classic. I don't know what else to say. Like I said, there's nothing that I can say that will properly articulate how good I think this looks and how excited I am for it. I fired off a tweet storm for multiple days because of this trailer. I watched the trailer probably 20 times already because I just can't get enough of that scene where he beats up that guy. Because it's just so brilliant. I mean, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. As a Batman fan, obviously, Batman has always been my favorite superhero. He's always been my number one guy. This is like a dream come true. So, I'm sorry 2020, you can't kill me. because I must live to watch the Batman. Some other things that were covered during DC Fandome were the Shazam sequel, which is apparently going to be titled Shazam! Fury of the Gods, and that's cool. I mean, they didn't show much of it. They didn't show anything, actually. They just kind of revealed some details, and, you know, I'm going to watch the movie anyway. I enjoyed Shazam. I didn't like it as much as some people did. I still think Wonder Woman is the best DCEU film, but Shazam is very good, and it was probably my second favorite of the DCEU. And you know what? The world needs more Adam Brody. After I saw Adam Brody in Ready or Not, I was like, wow, Seth from the OC is actually a really solid actor. I want to see more of him. So, yeah, I hope Adam Brody has a bigger role in Shazam! Fury of the Gods. And, you know, obviously Zachary Levi is great in the role. He was born to play that character. He embodies him so well. So, I'm excited for it. There were no details, really, or anything of note revealed about Aquaman 2 other than the fact that it's being made, and Ocean Master is in it, Black Manta's in it, and James Wan said they're going to take a more serious tone with this one. I think that's a mistake. He also said it's going to be more relevant to our modern day, and I also think that's a mistake. Look, I don't think Aquaman was a good movie, but it was enjoyable to watch because it was so ridiculous. Like, the only reason I paid money to watch Aquaman is because he was riding a seahorse to fight other sea people. And then you're telling me that you want to make a serious Aquaman movie? Why? That's not why the movie made $1 billion. The movie made $1 billion because you had an octopus playing the drums. Don't give me a politically conscious Aquaman movie. Nobody wants that. Come on, James Wan. Do better than that. I think that's a mistake. But you know what? Maybe they'll surprise me. Maybe it'll be good. I don't know. Maybe it'll be really thought-provoking and profound. I doubt it. But, you know, hey, a guy can dream, right? That's why we have the Batman. But other than that, there was also some details about Black Adam, which, you know, there wasn't a lot revealed either in the way of footage. There was this weird teaser trailer that was debuted, but it was just kind of animation. And, you know, I think Dwayne Johnson, he's a charismatic guy, but he kind of annoys me as an actor because he always just plays himself. He's never really playing the character. He's just being Dwayne Johnson on screen. So I can't really say I'm excited to see him as Black Adam. But they also revealed that the Justice Society of America is going to be in the movie. And that I am excited for. Dr. Fate in a film? Fuck yeah. I'm excited for that. Let me see that. Hawkman in a movie? Yes. I want to see that. Atom Smasher? Yeah. I want to see this movie. Not for Dwayne Johnson, but for the JSA, and mostly Dr. Fate. But hey, I mean, hey, there were cool details about it. Even the projects that I'm not as interested in, like The Flash, Aquaman 2, and Black Adam, they still have some cool, intriguing details that make them seem like they might be worth my time. And I think overall DC Fandome was a huge success. I thought from a production standpoint it was very well put together. It ran very smoothly. It was an event for the fans. You know, I think DC made this production knowing full well that they were selling something to a group of people that was already sold on these things. You know, we're not trying to sell the Suicide Squad to general audiences. We're trying to sell it to people that already know that they want to see it. And I thought they were immensely successful in doing so. So I thought as a whole this event was a success. And, you know, there were some huge highlights. Mostly the Suicide Squad and the Batman, with the Batman being something so incredible that I jumped out of the couch and was like jumping around the room because I was just so excited. I was acting like the Patriots just won another Super Bowl. So I thought that the event itself was a big success, and I'm excited for what DC has in the pipeline. I said in my Birds of Prey review earlier this year that I'm finally excited for DC films again, and that's very true, especially after watching DC Fandome. I think Wonder Woman 1984 looks great. The Suicide Squad looks like a blast. The Batman looks like a life-changing event and a life-changing piece of cinema. And I'm going to call it right now, Robert Pattinson is going to be the first actor ever in the history to win the Academy Award for leading actor because of his role as Bruce Wayne / Batman. You heard it here first. Anyways, I think that the future for DC is bright, and I think they showed that you can have a lot of success with this format. So I look forward to what Marvel does, because hopefully they do something like this, because I would really enjoy that as well. Please, somebody give me a trailer for Thor: Love and Thunder. Anyways, thank you for watching, everybody. Ladies, gentlemen, Disney shills, Snyder boys. If you want to tell me how wrong I am in the comments, specifically about the Snyder Cut, because I know that's what everybody's going to be pissed off about, do so in the comments section below. Otherwise, thank you for watching. Like, share, subscribe, and apparently hit the bell. I was informed that is a piece of YouTube jargon that I was forgetting. Apparently I don't know what I'm doing, but hit the bell, apparently. So that's a thing to do for the algorithm. For you, for me, for the algorithm, for all of us. It helps us all. I'll see you next time. May your heart be your guiding key.